charger into the laptop?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, no, but I want to sit here.
Oh, okay. Alright, hello everyone. This is like my most requested video, my eating journey. I've literally had to write it all down because I get so confused as to when things happen. Anyway, I'm just gonna start from the start. So, do you wanna say hello? Hey, Alicia's here. She just has a tan on. So I'll start from like my childhood. So growing up, I was really active. I swam and did sports and everything like that. And I had a really good relationship with food, as everyone does as a kid, I feel. And yeah, so I like ate a lot as a kid growing up. I had like a massive appetite and I just ate a lot of food. Like even my mum was just like, how do you eat so much? And then yeah, it probably wasn't until year 10 I started to look at my body and I was like, oh. And I got a gym membership and I was doing the Kayla Itzinas workouts. I don't know if she still does that or if you guys know what that is, but it's basically just like a 8-week workout program, and I would do that, and then I just sort of would go to the gym every now and then. Didn't change my food at all. It got to year 12 and I ate a bit more, started going to the gym way more often. I'll go with my friend like morning and like afternoon, not every day, but yeah, we went a fair bit. And then I sort of started to care about what I ate. I didn't restrict food amounts, I just sort of developed a little bit of orthorexia, I think. What's that mean? Orthorexia is basically like you care about the quality of your food, so you want it to be healthy and you're like scared to go out at like a restaurant or something because maybe they don't have like your type of health. Or let me get some examples on my phone. Yeah, pretty much like refuse to eat a broad range of food. Yeah, you really worry about food quality. Basically I had a sort of, in my mind I would only eat like paleo, and I felt really guilty if I ate anything with like refined sugar or like bread or something along those lines. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I did that pretty much throughout all year 12. Like really cared about the food. Like if I had like a block of chocolate, I would just eat the whole thing because I restricted myself from it, if that makes sense. Like I couldn't just eat a bit and be like, oh cool, because I restricted for so long. Like I would just binge on that, if that makes sense. And then I guess I kept doing that after year 12 a bit, and then probably like February the next year, or like March, like around the start of the year, so that was 2018, I started restricting my like actual food. I remember like I started just eating less without kind of knowing at the start. Like I would because I wasn't going to school, I feel like I just like accidentally ate less because I didn't have like 3 lunch breaks where I'd actually eat like 3 meals at school, if that makes sense. Would have salads for lunch and stuff which had like nothing in them, which I didn't really realize. But then I just kept slowly restricting, not really meaning to, but yeah. And then I remember I would actually go to work and I wouldn't eat all day until 3 when I got home, and which is just like, why would I do that? It's so dumb. But at the time, I don't know, I just kept restricting and restricting and restricting. And then obviously from that came binging. So I was already kind of like, would start to binge every now and then at the end of year 12, and then like, you know, since then. But then once I started really restricting, like the binging was every day. So I would not eat all day, and then I would just like eat like 4 days worth in one sitting, which I know is like, sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. And if you have struggled with binge eating disorder, or you just feel like ashamed, and it's really not gross, but you just feel gross because you're like, how can a human just sit down and go and eat all that food? Like, it's nuts. And I don't know, it's just, I have no words. It's a massive struggle when you're in it. And basically my binge eating just came from restricting foods or food groups. So that's mainly how binge eating starts. And yeah, that kind of happened for I don't know, I think it would happen for at least like 5 months. I was just continuously like binging every single day, and then I'll wake up and restrict and go to the gym like morning and night, and then also run because I felt so bad for the night before. Trying to make up for what I ate the night before just actually made it worse, because your body doing its job, trying to keep you alive. It's like that animal kind of instinct in your body that knows you're not getting enough food and knows you're overworking, so it's just fighting and like to binge pretty much. So until you stop restricting and everything like that, your body's just going to keep doing that. And then it got to a point where it would, like, I would literally cry. Like, I remember like crying in the shower. How embarrassing, but like I would just cry about it. And I remember one morning I woke up and I was like, I don't know what to do, it's so like horrible. So I just started googling like binge eating, like how to stop, and until I googled it, I didn't know that binge eating disorder was a thing. I just thought like I had something wrong with me and I couldn't stop eating food. So until I actually researched it, like figured it out, I was like, oh my god, something's not wrong with me. Like something was wrong with me, but I mean, it's common. And yeah, so I came across this video and I'll try and find it and link it because it was a really good video. And I also bought this book called Brain Over Binge by Katherine Hanson. Literally ordered it as soon as I seen it on this video, and it came in like a couple of days, and I started reading it. And in the video I watched, he kind of does a debrief on the book, so I was already like, oh my god. And then I read the book and I was like, holy crap, it just explains it in a more scientific way and just sort of wrapped my head around it. And I kid you not, like that day I went home and I didn't binge for the first time like in so long. And it's so weird to talk about because it's such a, like, it feels like so long ago that I would ever binge. Like, it's so odd. And I know this is really hard, but you just have to let go of all your food rules, like eat enough food. Also, when you binge for so long, it becomes a habit, not so much the body's. So even if you start eating enough food in the day, you might still have an urge to binge, and that's because it's a habit now. So even though you're like, what, I'm feeding my body now, like my body shouldn't be trying to make me binge, well, you've created a habit, so you need to break that habit. It's really hard to explain, but if you read the book, obviously it will explain correctly and in a better way. So yeah, that's basically, it's crazy because I feel like there's so much I'm missing out, and like if you haven't suffered with this, it might sound really stupid to you. Leash, does it? What? If you haven't suffered with it, it's probably, yeah, you're probably like, what are you talking about?
I don't really get it.
Yeah, see, like Leash has no idea, and this video is probably only valid to you if you have a form of disordered eating. Anyway, and then so it's when I started to actually eat enough, I wasn't binging at all. Yeah, it was really good. After a little bit of time passed, I sort of felt myself still like experiencing a little bit of orthorexia. Like I still had thoughts in my mind, couldn't eat certain foods, or that I still, like some foods still would make me feel like I couldn't control myself around it, if that made sense. So then basically I wasn't really binging often at all, and like if I did, it like wasn't to the extent that I used to be, but I knew I still had these little like limiting sort of thoughts in my mind that were like, okay, you can't eat, I don't know, I just felt yeah, certain foods still made me a bit scared. I kind of just sat there for a while in that same situation, and then I moved to Melbourne and met Leash, and then without realizing, I just kind of adapted the way she ate, which I know this isn't going to be everyone's situation. Obviously you can't just go in and move with Leash, but yeah, like without knowing it, I just seen the way she ate. And like when you're around someone that doesn't have disordered eating, they're not thinking about food 24/7, which I was. Well, intuitive eating is basically just like listening to your body, realizing when you're full, realizing when you're hungry. You know, you don't have to eat your whole meal if you're not hungry. I know that sounds weird to some people, but you can't figure out if you're hungry or full. Even like I remember feeling so sick when I was eating all that food, but I just couldn't stop eating. And I know that's probably sounds really odd to some people, but I'm sure some of you can agree. But yeah, I guess after I met Leash and realized you can eat, you know, foods that you love as well as foods that are great for you and make you feel good, I just sort of came to a realization like you can eat that way. And I guess that's when I fully let go of all my food rules and ate literally whatever food I wanted. Before Leash, I never really would go and get any takeout or eat like any pasta or anything like that. Also, she didn't know about my eating disorder. It was just normal for her, but I was doing all these new things and I was like, holy crap. But like, you know, I woke up and I was like, oh cool, I did it, I ate that and everything's fine. I guess my top 3 tips would be, number 1, stop restricting your food, which is very obvious, and that means amounts of food, and that means food rules in your head, whether that's you can't have bread or chocolate or you can't eat past a certain time. Let it all go. Just really try your best to listen to your body, and for a while you might have like extreme hunger, and that will be there for a while, and you need to give in to those cravings and just give your body all it needs, and one day you'll wake up and that will start going away. That stage is uncomfortable, but you need to do it in order to fully recover. Yeah, my first tip, stop restricting. Second tip, no food rules, what I just said. Then third tip, with the extreme hunger, just give in to it. Eat everything your body's craving, because that's the only way you'll recover fully. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's basically it. I feel like I've cut that really short, but I didn't want to sit here and bore you speaking. If you have any other questions that I haven't really answered, just send me a message or leave them in the comments and I'll answer them in my next video. But yeah, if you're struggling with any of these things, don't feel guilty or ashamed. Everyone's been there and it's natural. Your body is just doing its best. That is it for this video. I'm gonna go eat something now, so bye.